Las Vegas. A city built on luck and neon dreams, but behind the lights, danger never sleeps. This is the story of betrayal, blood, and the secrets casinos keep. Las Vegas. A city built on chance, where fortunes are won and lost in the flicker of a card and the spin of a wheel. To the millions of tourists who arrive each year, it is a playground of neon and spectacle, of dazzling lights and endless nights. But behind the glitz and glamour lies a shadow city, a city of secrets, where casinos aren't just houses of luck but fortresses of power. And in November of 2016, one of those fortresses cracked wide open. The case began with a name familiar to anyone who worked the Strip, Anthony Marino. At 46, Marino was a veteran pit boss at the Mirage, a man who knew the games better than anyone. To players, he was just another face in the casino, sharp-eyed and stone-calm. To the staff, he was respected, even feared, a man who could spot a cheat at 20 paces and call security with a glance. For 20 years, Marino worked the Mirage's high-roller rooms, where the stakes were six figures and the players weren't always tourists. He knew every card sharp, every whale, every hustler who tried to bleed the house dry. But Marino also knew something else. He knew the house didn't always play fair. On the night of November 9, 2016, Anthony Marino was found dead in the parking structure of the Mirage. His body slumped against the steering wheel of his Cadillac. To the casual eye, it looked like a heart attack. But detectives who arrived on scene noted details that didn't fit. Bruising around the neck. A broken wrist. The car keys clutched too tightly in his hand. This wasn't natural. This was staged. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department opened a homicide investigation. For a city that thrives on crime dramas, this one cut too close to the bone. Casinos were supposed to be untouchable, policed by their own armies of security and surveillance. But a dead pit boss wasn't just another statistic, it was a crack in the facade. And Marino wasn't just any employee. He had been there long enough to see behind the curtain. Long enough to know what was hidden in the vaults beneath the Strip. Detectives pressed further. They searched Marino's locker at the Mirage. Hidden beneath a stack of old pay stubs and shift schedules, they found a flash drive. Its contents shocked even the most seasoned investigators. Inside were spreadsheets, detailed records of transactions far beyond the usual casino ledgers. Offshore accounts. Transfers through shell companies. Payouts disguised as maintenance contracts. Millions moving in and out with no clear trail. It was evidence of money laundering on a scale that dwarfed the Mirage's glittering floor. And Marino had kept it. The question was why? Why would a man like Marino risk everything by holding on to something so dangerous? Detectives pored over the files. The spreadsheets pointed to shell companies across the Caymans, Panama, Switzerland, money flowing in loops designed to disappear. These weren't casino errors. They were deliberate, precise. A laundering system hiding millions under the cover of night. And Marino had the map. Then came the first break. Surveillance footage from the casino parking garage the night of Marino's death revealed a dark SUV pulling in minutes before Marino's Cadillac. The SUV parked several spots away. Two figures stepped out, blurred by distance, their faces hidden by hoodies. Minutes later, Marino entered. The figures approached his car. The camera caught movement, struggle, brief, violent. Then nothing. The SUV pulled away. Marino slumped in his seat. The camera froze, a silent witness to murder. Journalists caught wind of the case. Local papers began running headlines: pit boss found dead, murder or mob hit? National outlets picked it up soon after. Old rumors resurfaced, rumors that the Mirage, like many casinos before it, had ties to organized crime. The old days of mob-controlled Vegas were supposed to be long gone. Corporate America had swept in, sanitizing the Strip. But as one retired detective put it, you can scrub the surface all you want. The foundation's still the same. The FBI soon joined the case. With their help, detectives uncovered a second layer to Marino's files, emails, meticulously saved, between unnamed casino executives and shadowy partners. The emails referenced clearing profits, balancing accounts, and avoiding heat. In one, dated just weeks before Marino's death, an executive wrote, "If this gets out, it won't just be the casino that burns, it'll be all of us." Detectives stared at the corkboard filled with printouts, words like clearing profits and avoiding heat underlined and circled in red. Each document painted the same picture, a network of executives quietly moving millions, hiding behind corporate fronts and offshore shadows. And now one of their own, the man who knew their secrets, was dead. Many of the offshore accounts led to dead ends. But one name surfaced again and again, Gambino Holdings. On paper, it was a construction firm with no ties to the Mirage. But old records told a different story. Decades earlier, Gambino Holdings had been linked to one of New York's most notorious crime families. Now, money was flowing between them and the Strip like blood through veins. Whispers grew louder. High rollers who frequented the Mirage told stories of backroom deals, private tables where money changed hands without ever touching the main floor. Suited men, envelopes thick with cash, transactions hidden in plain sight. It wasn't just gambling anymore. It was loan sharking, laundering, and control, an underworld business running right beneath the neon glow. In the precinct, detectives built their own map. Photos of Anthony Marino, the Mirage Casino, and Gambino Holdings pinned to the board, threads of red string pulling them together. Each connection revealed another layer, emails, bank transfers, whispers from the floor. But no matter how many lines they drew, the picture never fully came into focus. Evidence vanished. Witnesses went silent. And still, Marino's murder hung over every unanswered question. By 2018, the case had grown cold. Officially, Marino's death was listed as homicide, unsolved. Unofficially, detectives admitted it was a wall they couldn't climb. The Mirage kept its doors open. The Strip carried on. Neon lights gave way to desert dawn, as if nothing had happened. But for those who knew, the silence felt heavier than the night. Anthony Marino's story lingered, unfinished, unresolved. Years later, rumors persist that Marino had more files hidden away, enough to burn half the Strip. Some say the cash is buried in a safe deposit box, waiting to surface. Others believe it was taken the night he died, locked away by the very men who silenced him. His locker sits empty, his name whispered among dealers as both warning and legend, the pit boss who knew too much. The man who tried to play against the house, and lost. Because in Las Vegas, the house always wins. And sometimes, the price of playing isn't money. It's your life.